How you doing, YouTube? Shit's about to get real up in here. In the form of Candlebright. This be a Hot Butcher beer. The tasting notes of this beer. Let's get into that first. It is sweet caramel. It is toasted barley. And it is ripened dark fruits. Why? This be a barley wine, son. A barley wine from Hot Butcher. I've had stouts. I've had lagers and hazies. No barley wine. Then you go, okay. It's a natural progression as a brewery. You kind of make a bunch of hazies. You build up your portfolio. Then you can start making stuff you dig. A lot of stouts, some lagers. You're eventually going to come out with a barley wine. But you have to understand, it's Illinois here. This is fucking barley wine's like, that's real. That's like street level shit right there. Like, they don't fuck around. You know what I mean? Like, Revolution Brewing, fucking Brickstone Brewing, fucking Distill, fucking Goose Island. There's a bunch of breweries that lay the smack effing down when it comes to barley wine. It's probably one of the best barley wine producing states in the country. So I expect a lot here, Hot Butcher. Now, I didn't see anything about, like, hoppiness. So we're hopefully dealing with an English barley wine here, because if you bring that American barley wine stuff, you just get smacked across your face and walk down the street in Chicago. So let's see what we got. Label-wise, it reminds me of feathers on a bird. I don't know why. That looks like barley wine. That looks like what barley wine should look like. Let me put it that way. It's a little bit better way to reference it. So label-wise, it's all right. It's one of the weaker Jetsa labels. But, man, that's what barley wine's supposed to look like. Due to water brown. Murky, hazy. Expect like a double IPA haze, but in a malt category. I mean, the head has this kind of khaki color to it. Nothing too crazy. Not a big head. Wouldn't expect it from a 12% barley wine. Yeah, looks the part. Let's get a nose. Okay. It's going to tell us everything. Okay. We'll hold off a little bit here. It's a little bit green. They're talking about those ripened red fruits on there. I'm definitely getting that as the biggest note in the beer, but it's almost like and I know this is going to sound like really fucking weird, but they are very similar for me. Ripened red fruits in a barley wine, very bright. Ripened red fruits on the nose is very much acetone for me. That's kind of how both of them come off. You're talking about 12% beer. It's a big, huge fruit there. But once you get past that, because it's not acetone in a chemical, caustic kind of like it's going to burn your nostrils out kind of way, but there's some kind of similarity to it. And I think it has to do with stressing out yeast. I think that's the thing. And I think if you get too far with that yeast being stressed out, because you got to stress the yeast out at least some form or fashion to get to 12%. It doesn't matter even, well, it matters the yeast you use, but even if you use the one least stressful yeast out there, it's going to get a little bit bonkers going to 12%. And there's a sweetness to it. There's a little bit of soft kind of like it's Coca-Cola vibes underneath it, but not Coca-Cola and not Pepsi. It's like RC Cola or whatever you're not. I mean, everybody had that knockoff brand in their town. We had Crystal Club in northeastern Pennsylvania. Like whatever that cola is, like the third, fourth tier cola. And I'm not pooping on third tier cola. I grew up on third tier cola, so third tier cola for life, son. So, but it has that kind of like, or better yet, this might be a better analogy. If you've ever smelt or tasted bar gun cola when the seltzer runs out, like that syrupiness from it. So that's the kind of like malty sweetness. That's the way it's coming on for me with that bright redness. It's starting, that bright redness is getting a little bit smaller. I think it's the thing where it's blowing off a little bit. Almost like a quick little decanter here in this little snifter glass. But yeah, it smells like barley wine, but that fruit is very, very big. I don't know if it's going to come off good, bad, or indifferent in the taste. Let's find out. Cheers. That's tasty. I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's big, it's bold, it's sweet. No shit, Sherlock. It's fucking barley wine. That's kind of what barley wines are supposed to be. So that fruit component is very much a nose aromatic here. Because I don't get a ton of it. I get it in the taste, but I don't get it as big as it is in the nose that I do in the taste. And the taste, it leans heavily into that kind of seltzer, bar gun soda syrup kind of level of sweetness and taste. The mouth feels okay. It's a little bit thin for a barley wine. Not that I want a huge, dense barley wine, but just a little bit thin. There's a spiciness to it. So you're getting a little bit of like a roasted malt / kind of hop characteristic. I don't mind it. It's not an American barley wine. It's not even getting close to there. But I can dig that little bit of bitterness on it. Because I think with how sweet it is. Because if you think like, syrup from bar gun without seltzer, that's very, very sweet. You need something, even a little bit of bittering to help balance that off. And I think it'll work in the long run. We'll get that in a minute. And that red fruit really does come kind of later on in the taste. It's very sweet. Again, it's a barley wine. We're expecting that. But, and this is the big but here, for a fresh barley wine, which is, let's see, they canned this 2 weeks ago. And it says Chris Barleywine. Who's Chris Barleywine? Anyway, or it does say Chris's first barley wine. No. Anyway, regardless. It's almost impossible to get what I want, and what I think a lot of people want, out of a freshly canned English barley wine without time. Time at the brewery, time in, oak, time in spirit barrel, those kind of things. And that's honestly, more often than not, kind of where barley wine really does shine. When we're talking about the Revolution barley wines of the world, we're talking about the Brickstone barley wines, some of the better barley wines outside of Illinois, when you're talking about Kunin or anybody that makes just epically good barley wine, the age is a real factor here. Some people age them in-house, whether it be in a barrel or just have them sit for a while. I'm assuming this is brewed, fermented out, maybe a little bit longer, sat in a tank a little bit longer than usual, who knows. But this isn't an aged barley wine. They didn't can this and let it sit for 6 months, a year before they released it. They didn't put it in a barrel and wait for that long. So I went in this trying to not say, how do I put this? I went in this not going, this is going to be a fantastic barley wine. I know. It's a little weird because you want to do that. I wanted to taste the things that I would enjoy with time. And I think this beer contains it. But that, I mean, that bit of aggressive sweetness with time is going to round out. That bitterness, which is perceivable but not over the top, that's going to die off within 6 to 12 months, but it's going to help stabilize the beer, keep it going a little bit longer. You do have that cool kind of making, that syrup I was talking about with that, it's like Coca-Cola vibes you're talking about. That's going to eventually morph into a little bit of burnt brown sugar, then a little bit of date and figginess. Hopefully someday a little bit of sugar daddy, and if it's all things go well, you end up getting into that kind of raisinette kind of territory. And I could see that beer getting there. And there's really no way to mimic that. You can barrel age a beer, accelerate that process. Some breweries are really good at doing that. But for a barley wine straight out the chute, core 4, it's being made, and this is what's produced. It's pretty damn good. Yeah. I don't know what I'm looking for. Sweet caramel, toasted barley, 12%. I like this. I think it's fun. Here's the thing. Pop Butcher sends me beers. They usually send me doubles. They only send me one of these. You need to send me 2 of these. I don't ever ask people for doubles, but because I need to drink this, and then I need to drink another one of these a year from now. So good thing you didn't send it, because I would have drank it before a year's over. In a year, I want one of these. I want one of these MFing cans, a year old, and I want to drink it then, because I think it's going to be epically fantastic. It's just, I think barley wine needs time. Almost every single barley wine needs time. Sans barrel-aged barley wines that have been in barrels for 3 years, that kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about. And this is a really tasty, sweet barley wine beverage that is very fresh and green, and I think will age and turn into something pretty over time. So let's talk about it. This is one of the better barley wines I've had as of late. Rewind. This is one of the fresh barley wines I've had as of late. Yeah, is it Mount Rushmore status? I don't know. It probably is. I don't have that many fresh barley wines, because even when I buy them, I usually let them sit. But it's a fun beer. And honestly, first barley wine and a shoot from Hop Butcher, shooting their shot, and I think they did a really good job of something that hopefully ages into something epically fantastic. Value availability, no idea. Let me know what's what, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, If you like Asian beer, that's it. What I would tell you to do is, if you can still get this, I doubt it because it's Hop Butcher, but if you can, get a 4-pack of this. And do like I tell you to do with every single barley wine you ever buy. Buy a 4-pack. Drink one like I am now. So you have a baseline and a taste of what the beer originally tasted like. And then let the other sit. Let one sit for a year. Let the other one sit for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And then let the other one sit long haul. If you have that kind of patience, I applaud you. This dude does not. But that's what you should do with these kind of beers. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying, excuse the burp, a little Hop Butcher right now. Hopefully you're finding and drinking one of these cans in a couple years from now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.